question can be addressed at a later time. The last speaker of the session is Chairman Kim Seok-Joon from Sangyeong Engineering and Construction Company. Since 1983, Chairman Kim leads the company to the one of the world's master builder with 140 construction contracts worth about $8.6 billion in 20 countries. He recently leads the company through every step from securing the contract to successful completion of Singapore's new world-renowned landmark and acclaimed miracle of 21st century architecture, the Marina Bay Sands Hotel. Chairman Kim won the Gold Tower Order of Industrial Service Merit in Korea and is currently co-chairman of Korean Party of Korea-Singapore Economic Cooperation Committee. His presentation will be on the construction CEO's experience in the construction of Raffles City Complex and the Marina Bay Sands Hotel in Singapore. Please welcome Chairman Kim.
Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like I'm a black sheep in the whole people gathering here because I'm not an architect. I'm a construction man. Today I'm going to present you about my work experience as a CEO of construction market for nearly 30 years, especially for architecture works. My presentation today would not be exactly matched with your slogan for this conference, why tall? Actually, my company's experience of height-wise, meter-wise, is only little over 300 meters in Dubai. But if you think of this, how many contractors in the world really did super over 500-600 meters long or tall? Because it's beginning of this era. Instead, today, we had some experience in some very monumental two buildings happen to be in Singapore. And this height might be not as high as what you made a comparison with previous project on today, but it's quite interesting project. So, anyhow, some contractors should build your dream, so my experience would be little help to your future dream. First, I'd like to show you a short video. It's about just 3 minutes long. Run.
We wanted to propose something new, something which does not exist today, neither in Singapore nor perhaps in the world.
Thank you. Now this is some summarize of two buildings. The Raffles City was total square. The total floor area is about 386,000 square meters, while the Marina Sands is 300,000 square meters. And the floor is 73 at Raffles City, but the per floor height was rather short. So the total height is not that significant high. But two buildings has quite number of rooms, over 2,000, nearly 2,500 rooms. It really hard to complete whole project. And both projects, the Sangyong was the 100% sole contractor. So we are the only one main contractor for those two projects. Now, you may have questioned how 5-year-old young company got this mega project in Singapore in early 80s. Our superstructure contract period was in 1982. And I was lucky enough that I had two great mentors. Since I have no engineering background, I'm just a commercial background young man, became as a CEO of the company. And these two great mentors gave me all the good ideas how to handling this mega project. One man called Mr. Kim, who worked directly for the Saudi royal family when the first wave of construction came to Saudi Arabia. He taught me a lot of ideas how to make a deal or how to break the deal. So I could handle this nice idea, having our own consultant back up our lack of engineering experiences at that time. And another man, maybe here the Korean audience is very familiar with this name, is Mr. Kim Soo-gun. Professor Kim is really great man and great architect, and who is loving concrete works. And his projects are all over in Korea and overseas. He really gave me all the essence of how to handle this mega concrete structure. And those are really good help to me. I went to his office in Gonggan company, the design firm, and almost every night. He called me every evening after 10 p.m. So I was very special student to him, learning about all the, the necessary things about construction. That was really great help. Now, I'll show you one photo. That was Straits Times in December 1st of 1982. You see the date there. Cement rain in the rain. We set a record of mat foundation, pouring 11,000 cubic meters of concrete within 48 hours. We needed 1,900 ready-mixed concrete cars lined up in the job site for 48 hours. That was one weekend, and traffic was controlled. We used a mixture to lower the concrete temperature. However, that was not enough. We booked all the ice makers in whole Singapore using the ice for lower down the temperature for this mass, huge concrete. Okay, the next one is for the stage of superstructure work. Eventually, we achieved 3-day cycle per floor at the peak time. And in order to make this, steel bars were prefabricated on the ground, and we used very advanced module table form system. I think it's one of the first time of using this huge quantity of table form system in early 80s. We used 40 megapascal concrete. That was the highest strength in those days. The most powerful concrete pump to pump up to over 220 meters of vertical on the top of the building was also first time was made and manufactured, used in the job site. Maybe you familiar with the good old name called Artemis, which is most advanced, of course, those days, critical path method planning software in early 80s. We obtained that system. Of course, we had a lot of trials and errors, but finally can satisfied. So overall, those methods, systems, tools used in Raffles City project in the early 80s were pioneer for even modern days high-rise construction method, I believe. Well, later at the end of my speech, I'm going to mention about good working relationship and cooperation between client, architect, and contractors. That was significantly important 30 years ago as well, of course, even now and in the future. Mr. I.M. Pei, who designed this renowned project, and he always saying that this project is his masterpiece of his lifetime. Now, next, the Marina Bay Sands. This project had very unique background for tender process. The top priority was time, the construction period. Because the client, the American client, investor, who promised to Singapore government, they have to finish this project up until certain date. That was so rushed. Originally, 14 different companies were on the long list, and finally, only 4 companies from Europe, Japan, Hong Kong, and Korea were on the shortlisted. Because of difficulties of construction within the extremely short period of time, it was very hard to make a deal. It was known as the most difficult project to construct in modern days. For example, there was a 52-degree leaning using 40 millimeter rebars, post-tensioning duct running vertically, external bracing to support sloping structure and the sky parks. The temporary supporting method was decided considering safety and the construction period after many failures of simulations. During the execution, we installed the most advanced monitoring system for sensing even very minor movements of the sloping structure, because it was the really key of the success, and the safety matter was so much involved. Until we reached on 23rd floor, which 2 faces are meeting each other on some point, was really nightmare every day. Well, luckily, nothing was happened. We had to work 24 hours, 7 days a week. At the peak time, we had 6,000 workers daily base from 10 different countries using 10 different languages, were at the same time at this small site. We are proud that we set up a historical safety record, was 12 million man-hour accident-free. And total construction period from bottom to top was only 27 months. Now, this is some example of structural work, how it is relatively difficult, and how it gave us a lot of challenges. As we know well, the architect is designed for the basic program and design, and all the methodology should be developed or invented by the experienced contractor, was us. And there was no compromise with original design, even though it was one of the most difficult projects in the world. Here is one episode. The day before topping off ceremony, the Moshe Shafti looked up the structure from the ground, and he said, "Oh, this is fantastic. This is astonished," he said. I was so happy. Now, again, without cooperation between three parties, client, architect, contractor, it would not have been possible to complete the project successfully within this short period. Now, I'd like to humbly say about what is CEO's role for the construction company. For this extraordinary construction process, I had to suggest extraordinary type of working relationship with my client, which was regular or sometimes emergency top management meeting, including me. Well, this is not exactly my job has been, but this project was super fast-track project. Overall, during the construction period, I myself visited the job site 42 different times for solving critical problems such as progress delay, of course, sometimes, quality of work, very important, lack of resources in various fields. Singapore was boom time in those days. Everything was lack of. Let me give an example. Now, the project is delayed because of unavoidable many design changes, which we really don't like, but sometimes it's really unavoidable. However, such many changes happens in the super fast track. How to shorten the time? We really opened the book, and we had honest discussion among three of us. How to increase workers while the local market suffers lack of labor? That was a very serious problem. Meantime, there are traditional concerns and challenges as a construction CEO, the mobilization, we call MOV. It's not only a matter of manning the people at the site, but this is really conducting how to harmonize with good and capable engineering staffs and supervisors who will eventually perform the best effort at the job site. This is not that easy as what I planned and what I think. The project manager as a construction company, who is absolutely the leader of the project team, I have to find out the best man in my company. Well, let me just go bit quickly. Well, in 82, well, there are some people here. They're project manager of my company. We are lack of really experienced people from our in-house engineers. We challenge this mega project by selecting some best members from other companies. And I gave them very clear spiritual goal. Okay, you people, you have great honor of representing Korean overseas mega project, just like national sports team at the Olympic game. The result was excellent. Marina Bay Sands Hotel, we had 100 Korean engineers and staffs, mostly college educated at the job site from Korea, and another 150 local or foreign staffs at the site, or some few people, some foreign staffs, their salary was higher than mine. However, among Koreans, surprisingly, 90% of us did not have experience in any overseas project. However, only 10% top ones of overseas experience as my loyal company staff with the loyalty and long experience in our overseas project. They mingling up quickly, and this 10% of people leading other 90% very short time. And of course, 90% of our domestic staff are the top guys from my company. And luckily, they really harmonize and learning process within short period of time. So becoming good old team in overseas site. Okay, that was kind of experience. Now I like to get into the point. This conclusion of today, based on my experience, I'd like to take a look what is reality surrounding between architect and contractor. Let's talk about some uncomfortable truths. We often have certain prejudice about somewhat different between architect and contractors. Well, I heard many of my architect friends saying that contractors are always rough and tough with less brain or no brain. Contractors always pursue the easiest and cheapest way, greedy-minded, sometimes ignoring architects' great design and spirit. The other way around, some contractors think architects are the group of weird people who are snobby, pretentious, and seek for unrealistic ideas. Sorry for my blunt talk. Okay, based on my experience, I'm very lucky man. We work with many architects from Korea and overseas, including well-known architects. I am Pei, Dange Genjo from Tokyo, who passed away, Moshe Shafti, who is Canadian-American. We all becoming a really good friends, regardless of our ages and even generation gap. The relationship got even closer after project was completed. Why? Of course, successful completion is the base. But more importantly, during the several years of execution period, through some gathering, whether it is official or private, I try to learn from them and their world. And they also try to understand contractors' situation. We should talk about the common goal of successful project completion. We need to improve level of communications in many ways, even the easy things such as having meals or sports games. Are architects really concerned about who will construct their project? We know architects have little chance to participate in the tender process for selecting contractors. That's the reality. Each contractor has its own views and policy. Unfortunately, sometimes construction companies' wrong policy may affect the quality and could damage the project. Even though the lifestyle of architect and contractor in working and thinking is different from each other, the effort of understanding each other and working together is also as important as good design and good construction method. Okay, my conclusion today. In any moment when a fresh project in my target, now bidding process is begun, our new challenges, considerations, and concerns also begin. This is destiny of any contractor. It is challenge how we can reflect and materialize what architects dream and make the vision come to reality. In order to achieve this as an experienced contractor, we have to select or invent some proper methodology, how to maintain quality and reasonable profit, of course. When design is far too simple, there would be no edge of competitiveness. And when design is too complicated, again, constructability. That is contractor's fortune and destiny. Meantime, recently, some big clients introduced their new attempt of bidding system called Advanced Information Package, AIP. This is a kind of pre-construction service, including value engineering. Now it's getting very popular. However, where architect or consultant explain their design to contractors before the tender process begins. Then the contractor can review the design and make price proposal based on their ideas for design enhancement. Therefore, contractors' role and responsibility are getting bigger, whether architect like it or not, even before the project commences. That also gives us a lot of works. I met some big clients. That's part of my job. They requested me, hey, find out ways of cost saving and still keeping the same quality of original design. This sounds like they asked me to create some miracle, but we have to do this. For the given circumstances, I like to suggest when the project is starting, the architect and contractors should meet up intentionally, whether we like each other or not. We have to get to know each other more closely, understand more about each other's work between top people from each firms, together with working level people. The goal is very clear. By better understanding each other, we could achieve really win-win result. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman Kim. It's really good to hear